Hello, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful discussion about wine. And today we're going to be talking about a very, very big category, and it's called big, bold red wines. And big, bold red wines really fit in a category that goes so well with Italian food, so well with a good steak, a beautiful leg of lamb, a rack of lamb. I mean, these are wines that go big, really, really big. And today we're going to talk about three varietals that are really big in Texas. These wines have won double gold in international wine competitions, so that we know that these varieties are very well suited for Texas. They love warm climate. They love the ripening in our season, our nice, I would say, warm to hot summers that cause the ripening to intensify, the color extraction on the skin, and the intensity of tannins in the wines. And that's what's so special about these three varietals. And the first one that we're going to talk about is actually kind of the lightest of the three. You would say Cabernet Sauvignon is like big and bold. Well, it is big and bold, but the other two, and I'm going to hold you in suspense of what those other two are, they're even bigger. They're even bolder. So this is a beautiful Cabernet Sauvignon, and I'll show you the color intensity on this. It is dark. It is a real purple color because in Texas we get amazing extraction of color into the skin because we have sunlight. You know, it's amazing. You know, when you talk about the strengths and weaknesses of a particular region, well, our strength is the fact that we have many, many sunny days. And that causes the skin to get very dark. And as a result, it produces very dark wines with good tannin structure. And tannin structure is what allows a wine to age. That's what allows the wine to age, a red wine to age 10 years, 15, 20. I do recommend that most people should drink their reds between 8 years old and 12, if you can wait that long, because most of the time we want to drink it as soon as we get it, and I don't blame you for that. And the wines are ready normally within 2 or 3 years, but they do get better as you let them age in the bottle. Bottle aging is a slow process, and so over the period between 3 years of age and 8 years of age, it does intensify the aromas inside the bottle. So let's take a look again. Beautiful, beautiful color. We smell. Oh, Lord. I mean, Cabernet is known for kind of a real dark berry, even a hint of black pepper, not green pepper, but black pepper, because green pepper usually indicates that the wine has been harvested a little bit too early. But black pepper is exactly what you want in a good Cabernet Sauvignon. So let's taste it. Marron. I'll tell you, this is a great Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a beautiful blend of Cab, and it has a little bit of Sagrantino in it and a little bit of Merlot, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful wine. It has great bouquet. So that's our first big, big wine. Now the second big, big wine is Tempranillo. Now Tempranillo is from Rioja. It is a Spanish grape, and we think that the grape has been growing in Spain for about 3,000 years. The Phoenicians came to Spain and planted it. So it is an old, ancient variety, and it grows perfectly in Texas. And you take a look at the color on this thing. Whoa! I mean, it is dark. It's rich. You smell it. Oh, blackberries, really intense blackberries, and maybe a hint of leather. Tempranillo has a little hint of earthiness to it. So let's taste it. I tell you, these wines are for lovers because they make you pucker up. I tell you, when you pucker those little lips up and you could feel the dryness in your gums and on the back of your tongue, that's a wine that has good tannins, and that's a wine that will age very nicely in the bottle. And you could see the color on this thing will allow the wine to age 10, 15 years easily. And we have 10, 15-year-old Tempranillos in our library wines, and they're aging absolutely beautifully. Now, I've saved the biggest and boldest of all of the wines, and that is, what do you think? It is Sagrantino. Oh, yes, Sagrantino. This is the grape that I fell in love with in 2011. Meryl and I were teaching in Umbria, and we came upon this grape. Now, it's got an interesting history. It has been in Umbria for hundreds of years, but it was always made as a dessert wine. It was a wine that was called a posito. Now, what does that mean? A posito wine is you harvest the grapes and you lay them down on straw, and then you leave them in the sun, and they start to raisin. Then they take the raisins and crush them and make a sweet dessert wine out of them. And so that is the way the wine, Sagrantino, it was a sacramental wine. That's what Sagrantino means. It was used that way for hundreds of years, and it was always a dessert wine. Well, in 1976, they started experimenting with Sagrantino to make it a dry red. And it revolutionized Sagrantino, because at that time, way back in the 70s, there was only 50 acres of Sagrantino in Umbria, and it's a small area around a town called Montefalco, a beautiful little hilltop town that is worth visiting. And within a 50-mile radius of Montefalco, you can call this Sagrantino. And it's the Sagrantino Montefalco because of the fact that it is from that region. So when I discovered this grape and started bringing it to America and to Texas, I fell in love with it. And right now, we are one of the largest producers of Sagrantino in the USA. Now, what other places are growing Sagrantino? Well, there's some Sagrantino being grown in California. There's some Sagrantino in Washington State. There is Sagrantino plantings in Australia. And in Umbria, where the grape originates, about 20 years ago, there were 800 acres of Sagrantino. Today, there's 2,400 acres of Sagrantino. So because this has been made into a dry red, the popularity of this wine has significantly intensified. So let's take a look at the color. I mean, the color. Look at the color. It is black. I'll tell you, when you don't drink Sagrantino and the next day go to your dentist, because they'll wonder what happened to your teeth, because it creates such a dark impression on your teeth and on your whole being. I tell you, you smell this and it is just heavenly. People ask me, what is the flavor aromas of Sagrantino? Well, you've got dark fruit, prunes, all sorts of dark berries, and then you've got this vanilla that comes from the oak aging, and it's just the whole package. And then when you taste it, It is so, so intensive. It's amazing. Now, what do you eat with these fabulous, big, bold wines? Well, I made a lovely dish today. It is Italian shells. They're big shells, and I stuffed them with mascarpone. Mascarpone is a cheese, and I stuffed them with mascarpone, and then I put my tomato sauce over the top of the shells, and then I put mozzarella over the top of that, and then some parmigiano over the top of the mozzarella, and then this is going to go into the oven, and it's going to bake at 375 for about 20 minutes. Well, then you've got to have some good Italian bread with garlic bread. Yes, absolutely. So what we'll do with this, I have sliced Italian bread with butter, and then I put some mascarpone on first, and then we put some garlic over the top of it, and then some olive oil will be drizzled just before I put it in the oven, and then I will cook it there for only about 10 minutes, and it'll melt the butter, and the bread will be good and good and melted, and then we'll toast the bread, in the oven. So it'll be absolutely perfect. So, on behalf of all of us out there, especially our good Italian friends who know how good mascarpone is, and some great Italian shells and as pasta, I'd like to say to everybody: enjoy your life, enjoy the wine, enjoy the food. Salute!